Welcome to the Trey Lewellen Show.
Good morning. Here we go. We are doing Marketing Mondays today at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Good to see everybody. Welcome Facebook. What's going on Instagram? What's going on my people at TikTok? Hey, just want to let you guys know real quick, we got 3 passes left, 3 VIP tickets left for the upcoming Reactive Funnel event. If you want to come, it is next week, this coming week, which is going to be January 13th, 14th, and 15th. It is a workshop where we get your funnel up and running. We optimize it. We do split tests. We have you running traffic by day 2 and sales by day 3. It's a thing you want to be at. I'm going to change the way you do funnels for 2020. So how you do it is just private message me. Right now the pages are down, so make sure you message me. Just send me a PM and we'll get with you. Say, hey Trey, I'm really interested in coming to the upcoming Reactive Funnel workshop, and we'll get you a link, get you on a call with one of our team members, and make sure it's a good fit for you to be there. So we keep it really intimate. We got 3 passes left. We usually have around 20 to 25 people attend, which is really cool because we get to be intimate with you guys working on your business, which is awesome. That's exactly what you want. So it's me, myself, you get me for 3 days, and my team. We're in ClickFunnels, we're working around, we're doing funnels, and we're taking your best-selling products or getting a product up and selling, getting it optimized, and building a sustainable business. And not only that, but we're creating a profitable sales funnel for you. So why not get started today and head on over to your Facebook Messenger, send us a PM, and get one of these passes ready for you guys. All right, so I'm excited about it, and you get one of these really cool badges when you come here. How cool is that? So anyways, one thing I want to talk to you guys about today is really cool here on Marketing Mondays is this right here. How Target, like, you know, the big red dot circle on their back, right? The red Target is actually using data to sell to their consumers. And so you see the title here, when companies predict and are able to manipulate the habits of consumers. And it's really, really interesting stuff. I want to go through just some bullet points that I've learned over the couple past weeks of what Target's currently doing, and they've been doing this for a little bit now. And I want to make it aware to you, because what I'm going to do and show you at the end of this is how we can take our stats, our numbers, our sales numbers, and really look at them carefully and do the same thing on our scale that Target's doing on their scale. So basically what it's doing is, there was a guy by the name of Andrew Paul. He comes in, they hire him. He was working at another place first, and then he came over. He's working for Hallmark. So he's working for Hallmark Cards. Maybe you guys are familiar with it. He comes over to Target because obviously they have so much more data. They have terabytes of data on their consumers. And the number one question was raised. Mr. Andrew Pauls, can you tell and figure out for us, just from these data, these CSV files, who's pregnant and who's not? And the reason they wanted to know was because pregnant people who have become pregnant, early expecting moms, and new parents are the holy grail of retail. If you can get inside their heads and you get inside their pocketbooks, you can make quite a bit of money, especially millions of money, really moving the needle for Target. You see, the old ways of targeting are gone. And this is why Target needed to move to a new kind of higher level to beat the competition. I'm going to show you guys how to do that within your own business at the end of this, right? So basically, first off, you got to figure out, how do we grab data? Okay? How do you grab data inside the world of what we have today? So basically, how Target was doing is they did it a couple ways. They did loyalty programs. Maybe you guys been to, Target in their own right, but they got their loyalty cards. Walgreens, same thing, right? Hey, do you have a loyalty number? When you go to, we have Panera Bread here. Maybe you're known as St. Louis Bread Co. or Panera Bread where you're from. They do the same thing. Hey, did you bring your Panera card? Starbucks, did you bring your Starbucks card? So they're tracking you, right? They're looking at a couple things. They're looking at, obviously what products are they buying? Okay, that's a pretty easy one. But here's an interesting thing is they want to know when. When are you buying them? And then how much are you spending when you purchase from them? And then how many times do you come back every single month, right? So retention. So they're looking at, that's pretty much like a 30,000 foot view, right? Then they dial in on a couple other things. So when they know what you're spending and what you're buying, then they can really start to target you in different ways, okay? So by these cards, Target was looking at buying habits. They would link the individual purchases to a demographic. So what you can do, it's pretty cool, is you can do this yourself. You can go to websites and purchase data outside of the data that you've received, okay? So one thing that we do is we'll take our email database and we'll take it over to a couple websites. And what's cool about those websites is we upload the CSV, and then we can say, hey, we want data points on, is this person a male or female? Are they married or single? What kind of household income are they making? Are they retired? Do they have kids in the house? Do they shop online or shop offline? Where do they spend the majority of their money? You see, there's big data collection companies that are always collecting this data, and it's for sale, and it's for pennies on the dollar. Like, you can have this to your database yourself, and it's crazy of the data that you'll be able to receive, and then you can start making predictions and changes within your own company of who's buying from you from that data alone, right? Just on a small scale, rather. So anyways, that's what Target did, right? So they're coming out and they're saying, oh man, look at all these people, right? We got all these people, trillions of terabytes, but they have millions of people that are shopping in their stores. So how do we start looking at these people along the lines? You see, what they found out was by watching what people are buying, they can start making predictions of what's going on at home. You remember the first question? The first question was, well, how do we figure out if someone's pregnant at home? You see, that was the big gorilla in the room. How do we figure out that question? But they wanted to start a little far back first to make sure they got their approach down correctly. And they started like this. They looked at, when someone buys towels, sheets, silverware, pans, and frozen dinners, what kind of demographic is that person? Came out that when they see those type of buying habits, that means that someone either got a new house or they got a divorce. So now they have statistics to show and prove that. So hey man, when look at this. When someone sees, when the spikes start hitting, like this person right here is buying pans, they're buying silverware, they're buying towels, they're buying sheets, frozen dinners. Well, either they've gone in a new house or they're in a divorce. So let's go to our data companies and see, is this person married or is he single, right? So now we can make that connection. Now another way, right? Maybe they're doing bug spray, kids' underwear, and a flashlight, and a bottle of wine. What's that mean? That means we got summer camp coming up, for the kids at home. So they started looking at these statistics and analyzing and looking at, wow, if we have people that have these type of buying patterns, most likely this person has this outcome, or this is what's going on in their home. It's really, really profound stuff. So they realized, Target was doing this because they realized they couldn't use the old bag of tricks that all the retail stores were currently doing. You see, they needed to set themselves apart. All they were doing was doing the same thing all the other competitors were doing, and they were getting the same result, which means they were on the same scale. What they wanted to do is say, how do we move that needle and how do we get above it? So they did some pretty cool stuff with this data. So from that point forward, they said, okay, right now we're doing the old tricks of the hat, which is, putting cereal in a non-alphabetical order, or putting the soup. Have you guys ever been to the soup store? Have you got a soup aisle and you're looking at all the soups and you're like, why aren't these just all in alphabetical order? It's because they want you to linger. They want you to kind of have to browse through all the soups. If they made it easy, it'd be like boom and gone. Same thing in the cereal aisle, right? So they're looking for making sure you're lingering, looking through all the other cereals to find the one that you want. By also chance you might pick something else up. Okay? Or maybe you've noticed this. When you guys walk into a grocery store or into a retail store, watch how you circle the store. The majority of people, customers, prospects, when they come into a store, they always turn right. And you see, that was known. They did video footage, thousands of hours of videotape of watching consumers walk in the store, and the majority of the people always turn right, which means that the stores, the retail stores, started putting their most profitable items, their most profitable products on the right side of the store, hoping that it was going to be the first thing they grab when entering the store, since their basket was empty. Or how they would put fruits and vegetables. Always notice that that's always on the right side of the store when you walk in. Interesting enough, isn't it? Because what happens is when natural human behavior is, I'll grab a fruit, grab some veggies, I'm thinking healthy, which means maybe I can slip a Dorito bag in here, or maybe some Oreos or whatnot, right? So it's all this learning behavior. But the same thing was that Target knew was all the other competitors knew the same tricks as those. So they said, how do we make ourselves better? How do we get more data? And what can we do? So this is the holy grail, right? was how do we get pregnant? How do we find out who's pregnant? So they kind of went back. They found some data points. They saw that they got the people who are having a new house, the divorces, the kids at home. What are the trends, right? So as they started doing this, one thing they saw was another trend is if you bought popsicles once a week and it was around 6:30. Remember how I said when, right? It's around 6:30 p.m. in large trash bags in July and October. The program would spit out that you have kids at home and that you stop for groceries after work. They would also watch and notice that at 6:30 p.m., the wife might say, hey, make sure you grab that box of cereal or whatnot. But they would also notice that you didn't buy milk with the cereal. You see, ha-has started pointing out. They said, wow, if they're not buying milk, but they're buying cereal, then they must be buying the milk from somewhere else. Interesting enough, right? Think about the products that you're currently selling, and people aren't buying other items that go along with your core product. Wouldn't it be smart to sell those additional items with your core product? Because if you're not selling it, somebody else is selling it to them, which means they're spending cash with another competitor of yours. You're actually embracing that when you do that, right? So here's a couple things. Is they're looking for, how do we do this? How do we cope with this? Well, they came up with this computer program. They made an analysis about it, but here's where it gets really good. Here's where I love it, this is the gold nugget that they figured out, is by knowing this data, you gotta have, well, it's great to have the data, but then what do you do with it? Well, they created a program where it started creating custom packets, custom mailers, custom magazines that went out to their consumers, to their customers. You see, they had their mailing address. You can buy that as well if they didn't have it, right? Match the email address or the first and last name email address to an address. It's pretty simple stuff to do nowadays. So they started matching that stuff up, sending out catalogs for someone who they knew bought cereal from them, but they would send them a coupon for milk. Or for the guy who's buying the bug spray, they would send them, coupons for tents. They'd send them coupons for lawn chairs and camping equipment and lawn care stuff because they knew that's the guy who was on the other side. You see, they started following these trends and customizing the magazines to their front door, which means that you received a magazine from Target and your neighbor would also receive one, but his would be much different. In fact, Target got so good at this, at predicting habits, that they also started looking at the one big question, which was how do we find out who's pregnant and new parents? So what they did really smart again is they looked at their registry, right? Now, not everybody registers at Target when they're pregnant, no big deal. But what they did was they had a control, right? They saw, okay, these people are registering and they have due dates of this. And so now let's watch their buying habits and see the things that they're buying. And when we know that, we can probably predict by other people's buying habits who's pregnant. Pretty big stuff here, okay? So what they did then is they started looking at the data points. Wow, look at what happens in the first trimester of someone who's pregnant. Look at what happens in the second trimester, and look what happens in the third trimester. You see, one thing I almost forgot to tell you was the reason that people make changes in their buying habits is because of life changes. New house, maybe they got a new dog, maybe they added a child, maybe they got a divorce, a big breakup, a big move, maybe they went to college. You see, those are big life changes, which creates change in habit. Otherwise, the habits stay the same. So knowing two things, data and habits, when those things change, well, something else is changing at the house. So they started predicting what's going on at home. This is pretty crazy stuff, right? So then, of course, they're using the trimesters, the first trimester, second, third, and what they found was really, really great. Right? They made a really great discovery here. You see, women in the second trimester started buying lotions, but not just lotions in large quantities, right? Think about that. Or later, they would start buying vitamins and cotton balls and unscented soap and hand sanitizer. You see, when these started to align, well, Target created a pregnancy predictor score. And when they started looking at these trends, like, oh, look at this customer, it's starting to buy lotions, it's starting to buy cotton balls, it's starting to buy things that we see pregnant people in their third and second trimester purchase. Even though they've never told us that they are pregnant, we're seeing signs that they are pregnant. You see, Target got so good at figuring out who is pregnant. A man or a customer, a man in Minnesota, storms into Target, slams down this magazine that's offering cribs and diapers and baby formula, and it's addressed to his high school daughter. And he's so mad. He said, hey, this is uncalled for. You see, are you suggesting that high school students should start getting pregnant because the way that your ads show it is disrespectful to me and my household. And the manager apologizes profusely because of, this miscommunication. He said, I'm sorry, sir. I don't know why you received that. Sorry about that. Let me call you in a couple days. I'll see if we can do something for you. Sorry. So he follows up. The manager follows up 2 days later. He says, hey, I want to let you know still again, sorry for sending your daughter in high school that magazine. And the guy says, you know what? I'm just going to stop you there. He goes, apparently, there's been a few things that's happening in my household that I was not aware of. In fact, my daughter is pregnant and she's due in August. You see, Target was so smart with its data that it was able to predict his daughter's pregnancy without the father ever knowing. Pretty cool stuff. So my question then becomes is, okay, well, that's really great. Target seems to be on the ball, right? They're a big company. They got billions of dollars to spend in advertising and research and do all this crazy stuff. But man, I'm just a little guy, right? I'm a one-dude man. I'm a one-dude band. How can I use this knowledge, this information, and change my business? So I want to walk you guys through a couple things of what we do internally with our database, right, to do the same type of thing so we can actually move the needle in our business and outperform the competition. You guys cool with that? Perfect. So let's kind of go over a few things that I want to hit you with. I'm going to give you top 5 things because obviously any more than that will probably overwhelm you, all right? So it's pretty simple stuff. I look a lot to other marketers. Jay Abraham is one for little things like this. Another book I read was the 80-20 Rule by Perry Marshall. Great guy. You should check all those guys out. But the one thing I always looked at is in our internal business is we always research this. We always look. What is the top? So this is number 1. What is the top 3? This is the top 3 products that are selling. Okay. So if you're on Amazon right now, if you're on Shopify right now, if you're on ClickFunnels, WooCommerce, ClickBank, it don't matter, right? You got 3 products, 3 performing products outside of all of them, right? We took on a client who had 50,000 products, right? And he's like, how do I make any sense of all this? I said, dude, what's your top 3, right? My question to you is, when's the last time you downloaded a CSV of all your product sales and sorted it by the top 3 sellers? Probably never. So then what you do is you look at these top 3 products, right? I'm looking at, okay, hey, here's our top 3 products, my friends. I bring that to the boardroom, right? Hey, my friends, look at this. We got our top 3 products. Interesting enough is we have a database of 10,000 people, okay? Of these 10,000 people, ironically enough, 6,000 of them have purchased our top 3 sellers. That's how cool and impactful these top 3 are. Now, my question to you would be, what about the other 4? What about the other 4,000 prospects that have not bought your top 3 products? Shouldn't you make them aware of these top 3 products? I mean, obviously it's a great seller. Obviously it's flying off the shelves. But why not reach back to the other 4,000 people that may have bought other products from you, but not even be aware that you sell these top 3? It's an easy sell, my friends. It's an easy sell. It's an easy way to move the needle. Okay? Again, who are your top 10%? This is the number 2 for today. Who are the top 10% of your buyers? That's the question. Top 10%. Again, it goes back to the CSV files, right? Looking at your average client or your average cart value. So you're taking your average cart values of all times, so your lifetime value of the client, really, your LTV. So you look at this, right, over 3 years, over 5 years, depending on how long you've been in business. You take that lifetime value of a client, you sort it to the top, right, and you look at the top 10%. So if you have 100 clients, that'd be your top 10 people. Right? If you got 1,000 clients, that'd be your top 100. So what is the first 100 people? Who are these people? Is the first one I want to know. I mean, these guys trust you, right? They're buying a lot of money. They're buying a lot of product from you. They're spending a lot of money with you. You probably should have them on a Christmas card list, right? Because these guys are happy and willing to give you money, and more than likely, they're willing to give you more money, okay, in the future because they trust you. They like what you have to sell. So my question is who are these people, right? Go do a CSV list. Find out who these top 10% buyers are. And more than not, these buyers are going to buy more from you. You see, what we do is we look at who's buying products from us, right? And then guess what we do? Is we call them, right? We outbound call them. We text them. We email them. We say, hey, you're in our VIP club. We appreciate you. We want to do some big things with you. right? First off, we noticed that you bought 17 coffee mugs from us in the past 12 months. Well, what's really cool is we're doing a special just for our VIP clients to buy 12 more, to buy 17 more, to buy a case more, because obviously you love our coffee mugs and we appreciate you. So this is our appreciation to show our appreciation, okay? So little things like that, right? What can you do to your top 10% buyers? Because more than likely, I would say this, is those top 10% buyers are most likely bringing 80% of your revenue in, okay? That's what we've seen. 20% is from all the other guys, right? The guys who are buying one-offs. So look at those 10% buyers. Look how much money they're spending with you. 10%, how much revenue did that bring in? Those top guys. Those are the guys you want to focus on. And then, of course, we want to look at our prospects too, right? So that's number 2. Number 3, how do I reactivate buyers who've only bought from me once? Man, they've shown trust, right? So how do we look at people who bought only once and reactivate? Okay? I don't care if it's been 30 days ago, a year ago, 3 years ago. I want a CSV file of my people, of my buyers who've only bought once from me. They only got one purchase date from me. Okay? Because I guarantee you this, that when you reach out to them, when you cold call, or you want to be cold calling them, you outbound calling them because they're a warm lead, they're a buyer. When you reach out to them and say, hey, how can we better service you, right? Looks like you bought from us once. I want to reach out and let you know we got a couple specials going on. You see, you've only purchased one time from us, and we'd like to get you to purchase again, which is why we're throwing a special your way. Here's a cool coupon discount. Here's a free shipping product. Whatever it is, right? Do something really cool, a big guarantee around it. Maybe invite them to an event. I don't know. Have some fun with it. But at the end of the day, what you're going to find is this. When you get someone to buy from you more than twice, they will start to become one of your top 10% buyers, which you know right now spends a lot of money with you. So if you can start converting your only bought once into a multiple buyer, my friends, you got something. You got something big on your hands. All right, you guys following this? Give me some likes in the comments. Appreciate you guys. All right, then of course, most of you guys have big lists, right? You got people who bought from you, but you also have people who are interested in you. We call those prospects. So you got somebody who's prospecting you. They're kind of looking around and saying, all right, maybe this is a company I do business with, but maybe not. I'm just kind of here to see what's going on. But they never buy from you. They never give you a credit card. So we want to start reaching out to our prospects. Think how many prospects you have or could have when you really dial it in and start following up, sending them a genuine email, right? Once a week maybe. Hey, just one follow up. How are things, right? Notice you're kind of on our site browsing around. You were nice enough to give us your email address. We appreciate that. By the way, how can we be of service? How can we help you? What products have you bought recently inside our niche, right? Those are the things you want to start asking them because those are the things that are going to turn a prospect into a buyer. That was number 4. So number 4 was turning prospects into buyers. How do you do that? Okay? You start following up with them. And you give them a reason to buy. You incentivize them to purchase. And lastly, for today, for Marketing Mondays, appreciate you all being on here. This is big stuff. Make sure you share this with someone who needs to hear this message today. Top number 5 is when is the last time you reached out to your past buyers? So you need to start reaching out. You see, a lot of people do this. A lot of marketers I see. This is why I want to put a lot of emphasis on this because it's pretty hilarious. You see, somebody will come in, Billy Bob over here. Hey, give me some money. He gives me some money. Nice of him to do that. All right, thank you, sir. Here's your product. And I put Billy Bob over here. I face him this way. I face this way. And I never talk to Billy Bob again. Nope. It's not in the case. It's not something I want to do. What am I afraid of as a marketer, as a business entrepreneur? I'm afraid that if I reach out to him or I call him, that he's going to refund, that he's not going to like my product, that he might say, you know what, your product is junk. It didn't do what you said it was going to do. I want a refund. Man, that rarely happens, my friends. And when it does, give him the refund. Make him happy. Say, you know what, keep the product, right? Keep the product just as a thank you for trusting in us to just try us out. We appreciate that. And we're going to give you a refund. You don't even have to ship it back. Keep it, put it as a white elephant gift. We don't care, right? But we appreciate you and we want to let you know that. All right? But my friends, I'm telling you this. There's little to be had here. This is why a lot of you guys have negative funnels or break-even funnels, is because you don't talk to the buyers any longer. They buy from you and then they're of non-existence anymore versus just following up with new products and shoot. Send out an email for them to buy the same product again, and most of them will. Okay? My friends, this has been Marketing Mondays at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I appreciate you being on here. Appreciate you watching, right? Keep showing up to these videos. We got a lot to teach you. You got a lot to learn, all right? We got a lot of knowledge to give you because of the experience that we've been through, and we want to give that to you free of service by coming on here live on Marketing Mondays at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So until next week, have a great rest of the 7 days you got. All right? Talk soon. Bye-bye.